What is going on, beautiful people? Today, we're going to be talking about what does the trauma bond feel like? We got some input from other survivors and thrivers when I posed this question on one of my pages and whatnot. So make sure you stay tuned. If you're new here, my name is Lee Hammock. I'm a diagnosed narcissist, and welcome to another episode of the Narcissist Code. So boom, welcome back, folks. Welcome back. I put this post up 49 minutes ago on my Facebook. It says, what does the trauma bond feel like? Y'all see it right there. It's on my Facebook page. Y'all, it's been up for 49 minutes and it has 212 comments of survivors and thrivers and people that are on their healing journey or people that have been through the healing journey and whatnot to describe what the trauma bond feels like. If you don't know what the trauma bond is, it's a traumatic bonding through abusive behaviors, through manipulation, through emotional, physical abuse. You get bonded to your abuser. A lot of people describe it as Stockholm syndrome or something similar to that right there, right? They describe it as literally as Stockholm syndrome. Like, you know what Stockholm syndrome is, right? It's like when you fall in love with, like, you get kidnapped and you fall in love with the kidnapper, or you start sympathizing with the kidnapper. So this is what happens sometimes. You start sympathizing with your abuser. It's harder to let go of this person because the abuse has been so damn near malignant. It's been so hard. It's been so prevalent for so long. It's hard to release it. It's hard to let it go because it feels like an addiction. So I'm going to read some of the comments. I'm just going to them, y'all. First person says anxious, which eventually leads to exhaustion. Once you're used up, it affects your ability to think clearly and act on your own best interest. Yes. Absolutely true. Because once you get into the trauma bond, it's like you start sacrificing yourself more to get rid of that feeling. You start going deeper into the hurt to avoid it later on. You know what I'm saying? It's the pain of leaving is hard. The pain of staying is hard as well. You don't know what to expect either way. So some people choose to stay because at least you have an idea, right? At least you kind of know what you're going to get. If you leave, you don't really know what you're going to get fully. But if you stay, you understand exactly what's going to happen, right? It's like in this space right here, somebody else put, for me, it was always feeling crushed and exhausted and hopeless. But it's also feeling like I didn't deserve better because I had no self-worth. Exactly true. Because getting into these toxic relationship dynamics makes you question your own self-worth. The narcissistic person or the toxic person convinces you that this is all your fault. Like what you're going through right now is all on you. You deserve these behaviors. You deserve this treatment because of what you've done. You know, you can, like, nobody else is going to want to put up with your BS. You're the abuser in this situation, not me. Not I, said the cat. It's you. You're the actual abusive person. I'm just here. I'm not doing anything. I'm the victim. You're the narcissist. This happens to so many people, y'all. It really, really does. Somebody else put, a roller coaster that never stops. To get off the ride, you need to fight the safety buckle off, even though it feels like you're tearing yourself apart doing it. And jump out while it's speeding 100 kilometers an hour, 200 feet in the air. There's no cushion or safe landing. But you do survive. You see right there. That's why I love she put it. But you do survive, and it's a fight to recover. But it's an absolute relief and mixed feelings all at the same time. You see, a lot of people describe the trauma bond as a roller coaster of emotions, because y'all, you can feel like it's kind of like you're fighting against your own senses sometimes, because part of you, the logical part of you, knows that you should leave. The logical part, your logical brain, understands that you should not be here anymore. The logical part of your brain understands that this is abusive and this no longer serves you. It's your emotional brain that mixes everything up. Your emotional brain takes over and pushes logic to the side, right? It overwhelms the logic. It just floods the logic. Your emotions flood out the logic. You know what I mean? It just floods it out. Like the dams burst. Like there's like a section between the two and it bursts and the emotions flood out the logic. So you go based on emotions because the pain drives you, y'all. Pain is a driver, y'all. It really, really is. So first of all, thank y'all for sharing this, y'all. These are deep. These are really, really deep. It feels like I can't breathe if you leave me, but I want you to leave because you treat me like you hate me. But you're also the only person who makes me feel good. Oof. Y'all see that right there? That's how you get trauma bonded. The same person that is hurting you is the same person that is healing you. When both healing and harm come from the same hand, come from the same foot, come from the same person, it gets you trauma bonded to the person. It's like you're scared of them, but you need them. It's like this fearful need. You see what I'm saying? You don't want it, but you feel like you need it. It's crazy how it works. You know it's not good for you, but you feel like you need it because it makes you feel better. It's really like chasing a drug high. It's really like chasing an addiction. And a lot of people describe it as breaking an addiction to a drug. It's like some people, I've talked to actual addicts or recovering addicts and whatnot. They say, hey, look, I used to do this illicit drug. Breaking the trauma bond was harder than getting off of this. And I'm not saying like to try to demean anybody, try to invalidate anybody's struggle with addiction or anything like that. This is just stuff that I've heard from other people. You know, this is things that I've heard from other people. Yeah, that was a good one right there, y'all. I mean, all of these are good and powerful. You know, good in the sense that they can help you out. They can help you understand that you're not alone in this stuff right here, y'all. And I'm also going to share this in my support group. If y'all don't know, I have a support group called the Mental Healers. You can find everything at mentalhealness.net. Just scroll down a little bit. You can find my coaching, my courses, every single thing, my support groups, everything at mentalhealness.net. Scrolling across the bottom of the screen here and there every few seconds as well. Somebody said, I only experienced it for about 4 months since I was quick to know what I was dealing with the narcissist. I felt so trapped and helpless, but I knew that it was important for me to leave. You see how the emotion, her in that statement right there, her emotional brain, her logical brain were fighting each other, and logic won in the situation. Your emotions are going to try to flood out. Let's say your emotional brain is going to try to flood out the logic, but sometimes logic got a vent. It's got a covert. Your logical brain has dug a culvert to get rid of the flood really, really quickly, right? It's got a good sewer system, good plumbing setup. You know what I mean? You got a good plumbing setup in your emotional brain, your logical brain part. Somebody said it's toxic AF, but you find yourself forever thinking of that person. You can be treated like crap and still hold them on a pedestal. It's being so codependent on that person, you lose yourself. You feel like you need the person. You feel like you feel like you need the person that's destroying you at the same time, which narcissistic people get very good at, y'all. They make you feel like they blame you for the abuse so much that you start taking responsibility for your own abuse. You start taking responsibility for your own pain and your own hurt, the things that you're going through. You start taking responsibility for. You be like, well, it is kind of my fault. If I wouldn't have raised my voice, I wouldn't have got punched. You know what I'm saying? If I wouldn't have raised my voice, I wouldn't have got hit in the mouth. I wouldn't have raised my voice. This wouldn't have happened. This. That type of stuff happens to so many people in these situations, y'all. You know what I mean? What I say, addiction. You know it's toxic, but feel only that they can make it better. Like you can't breathe when they're not around. Yep. And those right there, in order to break the trauma bond, y'all, I know there's going to be a question that comes up. That's one of the things you have to get good at doing right there. You have to get good at fighting through fighting through the pain, fighting through the hurt, fighting through all of it. Like I said, when you're in that's why I created the support group, having a support group, having people that can be there for you, having people that are there to help you that you can lean on at the same time. Like seriously, this is the type of stuff that really does help you heal in the long run. And that's why I preach all this to people. I tell the people, like, if you can fight through if you can break the trauma bond, you can do anything. And that's not me BSing. If you can break the trauma bond, you can do anything and everything. It's definitely possible for you to do anything and everything to break, like I said, anything and everything on this planet and whatnot. When everything in your life is better without them, but you still hold hope for the fake niceness they throw at you every once in a while, knowing when they are feeling generous. Yep. You hope and long for the person you originally met in the beginning. The person you met in the beginning, you want them back so bad. Like you damn near can taste them. You're like, I miss them. I want that person back. You fight to get that person back. You were on it trying to get that person back. Like you would help when you started breaking the trauma bond, you realized that person was a facade. The person you met in the beginning, they sent their representative. Now, not saying that they never cared about you. Are there some narcissists out there that never ever cared about you? Yeah, that's true. But a lot of narcissistic people do care about you, but they can only hold it up for a little bit of time, y'all. They can't hold it up for so long, right? Somebody said anxiety, exhaustion, loneliness, heartache. Just a lot of good adjectives right there. You know, because they describe it in detail what you're going to experience. The anxiety, always anxious, not knowing what to expect, always on edge, walking on eggshells is how a lot of people describe it. Exhaustion, You're going to be physically, mentally, emotionally tired all the time because they drain you. These relationships with narcissistic people are extremely draining because you're giving so much but getting very little in return. You're pouring out, like your effort is 100, but your receiving is like 10. You get very little. I mean, she said loneliness. You're never more alone than when you're with a narcissist, than when you're in a toxic relationship. You're not physically alone, but you're emotionally alone. The person is emotionally abandoning you. Their physical body is still there, but they're emotionally abandoning you. The worst you can imagine. Everything in your body wants them back, even though they did the most evil things to you. It's the most difficult thing I've had to go through. Yes, absolutely true. It's so hard going through this and fighting through this and realizing that the person that you loved and cared for is also the person who's done the most harm to you, who's done the most damage to you, who's put you through the most, who's opened you up to the most pain you've ever experienced in your life. You know, they've done things to you you never thought would happen to you from this a person that said that they loved you. It's so confusing. When you get confused so much, it does lead to the trauma bond, y'all. The confusion. Your mind, when your heart and your mind, or your emotional brain and your logical brain are not in alignment, your heart and emotions will get you hurt. They just will, y'all. It completely consumes you. Nothing else matters. Literally nothing but the narcissist. Yourself is gone. Everything you do revolves around them. Everything. Yep. I see some people that they get so deep in the trauma bond, they sacrifice their own kids. They give their kids up. You know what I mean? If they are going through, if the kids are from a previous relationship, they give their kids up to be with the narcissist. They give the kids up to be with the narcissistic person. You know what I'm saying? The narcissist says, I don't like your kids. Your kids are causing us problems. They give the kids to the other parent and damn near hardly ever see them again. I've had this happen before. I've heard this before. In order to break the trauma bond, you absolutely have to tell yourself the truth about this person, y'all. You absolutely cannot do that, right? You cannot do that. They really is really in this space right there. This is how it goes. Narcissistic people absolutely will just they will try to confuse you. They try to trick you into believing that they are somebody that they're not. You have to tell yourself the truth. You have to be willing to fight through the pain. You have to be willing to do so many other things in order to heal, in order to grow, in order to fight through, in order to just combat this type of stuff. Like truly. In order to combat it, you have to be willing to fight it, to go through the pain. You have to be willing to go through the pain. You gotta be ready to beat the trauma bond's ass, because that's how you win. At the end of the day, that's how you win. Like seriously, at the end of the day, that's literally how you win it right there. You have to be able to fight through the pain. You have to be able to fight through and be resilient. You have to be able to survive. You have to right here understand that you are enough outside of this relationship. That's why y'all know the self-love brand is still here. You're enough. Inside and outside this relationship, you're absolutely enough. You're healing, you're growing, you're thriving. You have to understand that right there, y'all. There's 200 more comments on there. If y'all want to find the post, it's on my Facebook and whatnot. It's my Facebook, Mental Healness Facebook account. You can find the post on there. It's like 200 comments. It's crazy. I didn't realize it was going to take off like that. But I just did this video, y'all, to show y'all that you're not alone, to show you that there are other people out there that understand what you've been through, other people out there that understand what you're going through, and other people out there that have made it through. So many people said, it felt like this, but you finally break it. If they can break it, you can break it. Why not you? Don't start getting that. Do not start having that self-deprecating language. Well, Lee, they're stronger than I am. Lee, they're better than I am. Lee, they have more resources. Lee, they have this. You can do it. As long as that's the narcissist talking through you right there. That's not you. That's not you talking. That's the narcissistic person talking through you, speaking through you, like the devil. You see what I'm saying? Like a puppet. They're talking through like a little narcissistic ventriloquist. Anyways, y'all heard a little beep. I had to hop off here I got a Zoom call right now. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Find everything about me at mentalhealness.net. I'm out. Peace. What's going on, beautiful folks? Thank you so much for making it to the end of my video. I truly appreciate it. You have no idea. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, y'all. You made it this far, you might as well subscribe. It really does help the channel, y'all. Y'all helps me reach more people as well. Also, I have coaching, my courses, and my support group available at www.mentalhealness.net. Thank you so much. Make sure you stick around, watch another video or two. I appreciate it. I'm out.